In this vid, I'm going to be showing another battle vid of my MagneEel deck, this time versus a Donphan Dragons deck. And this is probably one of my hardest matchups because Donphan, being a fighting type, can pretty much knock out anything very easily on my field. So, go ahead and get a quick start. I start off with my ideal Thunderous. I have a Cleffa and a Magnemite on the bench, and he gets to go first. He flips over the Phanpy, attaches an energy, but then has to pass. So, no supporter. I have 3 Collector in my hand, and just crazy amount. But I already have Pokemon on the bench, so I want to go ahead and see if I can get some other stuff going. And I'm going to go ahead and get well, mainly I choose to do the Sage because I want to go ahead and start attaching energy with my Thunderous, start charging up and getting energy out on the field. So that's why I don't go for the Collector turn 1. I choose to discard the the Lightning energy because I can always get that back. And I'm going to use Charge to attach another energy to my Thunderous. So I'm looking pretty good to get some energy on the field. Now he can one-shot me with Donphan, but again, that's getting more energy into the discard pile, which is what I want. He attaches another fighting energy to his Phanpy, attaches a Rocky Helmet, and uses a Professor Oak's new theory to get a new hand, hoping to get the Donphan for a knockout. And sure enough, he gets Donphan for a knockout. Does 140 to me, knocks it out, but I'm still feeling pretty good because now I have 3 lightning energy in the discard pile, and that's quite a bit for later on. So I'm gonna go ahead and now I'm gonna use my Collector. I'm gonna get that Kyurem out because that's gonna help me take out that Donphan, as well as a couple of eels. So I'm gonna go ahead and bench both of the baby eels. And while I hate to give up the eel in my hand, I know I need to hopefully fall asleep to just stall for a turn. And hopefully get a better hand than just another handful of Collectors. So I flip, and unfortunately it's heads. So he's already going to be ahead 2 prizes, and it's really not looking good for me. He gets the catcher, he brings up my Kyurem, he attaches the 3rd fighting energy, and knocks it out. So it's really not looking good for me now. I put up the Cleffa, I've got basics, he's got fully loaded Donphan, and right now I'm just playing it out just to see if I can make a comeback, and even maybe not necessarily win, but just for a learning experience is pretty much what I'm going for. So I'm gonna pretty much just Collector for the 2 Magnemites and a Thunderous, just to get the communication to be able to throw that Thunderous back in for Magneton. I can't really charge right now without just getting more knockouts. So I'm going to go ahead and use my rare candy to get a Magneton in play. I'm going to communicate one of those Magnemites in for an eel. And since I played the eels last turn, I can go ahead and evolve it. And I believe I'm checking my discard pile, making sure there's plenty of energy in there. I'm going to communicate that other Magnemite in for another eel, pretty much just dwindling my hand size down so that I can magnetic draw for hopefully an energy. And let's get that eel up there. We're going to magnetic draw for 4 now. And I'm going to go ahead and bench the Magnemite. We'll start to use Dynamotor, and I can't take him out in one shot. And if my only attacker would be Magneton, I could do 100 and 150 minus 40. Yeah, that's not very much. So I choose to Eek instead and hopefully stay asleep. Hopefully it doesn't drag up a catcher, bring up my Magneton, but that's why I did Dynamotor on the energy to spread it out. So my Cleffa wakes up. He benches a Kyurem, so I do know for sure now that he's playing Donphan and Dragons. I check his record and see that he's got over 800 wins, so I just know that obviously he's a good player, but that just shows me he's an even better player. So I put up my Magneton as my active, I top into the Rare Candy Magneton for a 2nd Magneton on the bench. Feeling pretty good, and now I'm just kind of contemplating my hand, if I should use Super Rod to get some stuff back into the deck, or if I should just use Judge and bring his hand size down. So I choose to go ahead and go for the Judge. And I do top A energy, finally. So I'm going to be able to take out that Donphan. I hate to do it with the Magnezone, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm gonna go ahead and magnetic draw for 3. And now I'm just kind of contemplating my options. Good thing is that once I take out the Donphan, the Kyurem is really his only, well, it is his only Pokemon, and he can't, except for Outrage, he's not going to be able to do much to me, so I have some time to try and catch up. So I'm going to Junk Arm those two to get a communication back. And then I'm going to play the communication to put the Magneton back in. And I forget what I choose. I'm thinking Zekrom. Yep. Go ahead and choose a Zekrom. And I haven't used my second magnetic draw yet, I don't believe. So now I'm going to go and play the Super Rod. I probably should have played that before I judged, but at least I got it back in there. So I'm going to get that Kyurem back in case I need to use it for another Donphan. Going to get that Water Energy back in since I can't attach that with the Eels. And I believe I chose the Thundurus as well. Maybe, or did I choose the Cleffa? I think I chose the maybe I chose the Cleffa, I forget what, but you saw what it was. And now there's not much else I can do. Yeah, I've got the 4 energy on the field. I've got the switch in hand to go to anything else I want. So, pretty happy. I'm going to be able to at least take out the main killer on the field. And now I'm just kind of taking my time and going over my options, making sure that I'm 3 prizes down, so I definitely don't want to be making any misplays. Unfortunately, there's no energy in my discard pile to recharge anything for the next turn. That's pretty much the only bummer right now. And I don't know why I'm hovering over that catcher. I definitely don't want to use that catcher. And I'm not quite sure why I use the catcher. Yeah, now that I really don't know why I didn't Lost Burn 4 to take out the Donphan, and I took out the Kyurem instead. I really have no clue right now. Now I do realize that when he knocks out my Magnezone, that is going to put an energy in the discard pile. So maybe I'm thinking I can somehow... I think what I'm thinking is that I can somehow recharge up something else to be able to knock something out without necessarily using Lost Burn. That probably was still a misplay on my part. But, yeah, you'll kind of see what happens. So he takes out the Magnezone easily. And I promote the Zekrom. I use Collector. Maybe that's what, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so I wanted him to take out the Magnezone to get the energy into the discard pile rather than Lost Burning it all because I want to be able to use my Kyurem next turn. The only way I can use that Kyurem next turn to knock out the Donphan is by having that water energy in hand and having 1 energy in the discard. So that actually wasn't a misplay. I was thinking, and I just forgot what I was thinking. So I benched the Cryonicle. I know people have been giving me a hard time for how I say it. Attach lightning energy with the eel. I'm going to play the switch to switch out the Zekrom. And I think right now I'm just kind of trying to lighten up the hand size. I should be discarding a lightning energy. And probably another eel since I don't really need a 3rd eel. And even if I lose an eel right now, I don't have that much in there. So, Super Rod. I wonder what I mean, there really wasn't anything I needed as far as Junk Arm. It was mainly to get the energy into the discard pile. So, I'm going to go ahead and magnetic draw. And I see that I pull another switch, which is great. And I'm going to, I forget what the attack's called, Icy Shard or something? I don't know, but it knocks out Donphans in 1 hit, which is the reason why it's in this deck. So he's still way ahead on prizes, but I've taken out two of the big hitters on his field, and he pretty much had to use a lot of his resources to get those, well, that Donphan pretty much set up. So I'm set up at least, so I'm feeling all right. He's gonna go for the catcher. He's got another fighting type out, so yeah. He brings up the Magnezone. He's gonna use a Pont to get himself a fresh hand. And here's where I check the game room just to make sure that he hasn't been trying to talk to me all game and I just missed it. He attaches energy for the turn, and oh, he uses his attack to attach for the turn. Its attack is something from the discard pile. And yeah, he's weak to water, and so I'm going to be able to easily knock out the Landorus in one hit with the Kyurem. So I'm going to Dynamotor that extra energy onto the Magnezone. And I haven't played a supporter yet. I need to play N to bring his hand size down to 2, and hopefully he'll have no way of recovering from that. I still have my Magnezone in play, so I can still magnetic draw myself, and that's the great part about this deck is N. You pretty much use it near the end of the game. I mean, you can use, I run 4N, I think, so you can use it throughout the game, but it is particularly awesome at the end of the game when, especially in a situation like this, when they're really ahead on prizes, bringing their hand size down to 2 with them having right now a lone Phanpy on the field is hopefully going to do it in for them. But of those 2 cards and the one that he drops, he gets the Donphan and the Professor Juniper. I mean, talk about god luck. And so now he's yeah, he's pretty much back in the game, and I'm thinking, well, you know, what am I really gonna do? So he takes out the Kyurem. And I'm going to promote my free retreater, Cleffa. And I'm checking my discard. I can attach 1 more energy from my discard for the eel. I can attach 1 more. And I mean, I can Lost Burn right now 4 energy easy for the knockout. But I decide to go with a safer play. And I have another N. So I'm going to attach 1 from my hand. I Dynamotored 1 on with Zekrom. I can't Dynamo anymore. So I need to Junk Arm that other lightning energy, and probably a Sage, I'm thinking, is what I do. Because that'll fully load up my Zekrom, and while he won't be able to one-shot the Donphan, Donphan also won't be able to one-shot me back. So I'm going to get that switch back. I'm going to Dynamotor for the 2nd time onto the Zekrom. I'm going to end him down to 1 card, and I'm hoping that once he has 1 card, he's not going to be able to do anything. And I realize he can still do damage, so it may have been the smarter idea to use Magnezone, but again, I'm trying to play it safe and spare my resources. So I use Super Rod to put the Kyurem, Water Energy, and I think a Magnemite, just something random, back into the deck. Magnetic Draw to get my hand size back up, just in case, well, if he takes out the Magnezone, the game's over. And I'm going to bench that Magnemite just in case I can get a second Magnezone out, since he did take out 1 earlier. I'm taking back benching the Magnemite, though. Yeah, because I'm thinking if he tops a catcher, he could take out an eel, too, so... Yeah, I'm just making sure he doesn't have anything else attached to him that can hurt me more, like a Rocky Helmet. Oh, so I do go for the Lost Burn. Yeah, I was thinking because I was powering up Zekrom, I was going to try and go for the Zekrom, but I do make the smart choice, and I forgot that Magnezone already had 2 energy attached. So, this is actually great, because I have the switch in hand, I've got the Zekrom, Reshiram has 1, and amazingly, out of 2 cards, he tops another Juniper. I have been at least catching up in prizes, but it's still kind of frustrating when he gets that kind of luck twice in a row. Good news is that he can't attack. He doesn't have any energy on the field right now, so I've got a little time to stall. I have also got a catcher in hand. That Phanpy, I'm not quite sure how I can take a knockout, but I don't want that Phanpy to see play. So here, I think, I guess he's just thinking, trying to figure out what he's going to do. He attaches a fighting to the Reshiram, and I draw into a Sage. So, I'm going to go ahead and attach the Zekrom. I don't have any energy in the discard pile, unfortunately, to be able to use, to use Dynamotor. But I'm going to switch to the Cleffa, just to burn the switch so that I can use that free retreat later on. Double checking my discard pile, just making sure that I don't have any energy in there. Checking my Lost Zone, I have 7 out of 13 energy cards, I believe. I forget what version this is. I used to run 14 energy. This one might be 13. I'm going to bench the Thunderous just to get cards out of my hand. And I'm going to end him again down to 1 card. And if he tops the 3rd Juniper, it's just, what am I going to do? I'm going to Magnetic Draw to get my hand size back up. And I unfortunately don't get another Junk Arm. That was pretty much what I was hoping for, was to get a Junk Arm to put the energy in there, to be able to get the Zekrom fully loaded and get the knockout on Phanpy. But that didn't happen. I can do it next turn, but that doesn't help me this turn. So I'm just kind of looking over. There's really nothing else I can do, but I certainly don't want a baby donk. Or not really donk, but taking him taking my Cleffa out for the last prize. Flail does 10 times, the number of damage counter. So even if I outrage, he's only going to be able to do, what, I think 20 times 2, 40. So I forget if I just end my turn or if I outrage. And here I'm again checking my discard pile, checking how many Junk Arms I've used. So there's 1, and there's 2, there's 3. So there's 1 more Junk Arm in there. Unfortunately, I just didn't top it. Alright, so I'm going to Outrage. And there I go, Outrage. I forgot. He's got resistance to lightning, so it doesn't do anything. But it really doesn't matter. He doesn't have a way to one-shot my Zekrom. And here I just check the game room again, just make sure he hasn't said anything. And he has to pass. So finally my N has worked, and he can't draw into anything. So, I'm going to attach an energy. Most likely a water energy, I'm thinking. Come on, attach the water. There you go. And here I question, should I end him back down to 1 again? Or should I save the end in case I start to deck myself out? Because I still have 2 prizes to take. I'm actually not going to... I think my deck size is too small. That's why I don't want to do Sage. And I'm just going to go ahead and take out that Phanpy. I do 40 to myself, but Reshiram still needs 2 more energy. So I'm feeling really good right now. I've made an amazing comeback. He's playing the plus power just to get out of his hand so he can Pawnt. But there's pretty much nothing he can do. He's going to attach the rainbow. It puts one more on him so he can outrage me for with the plus power of 50. And so that'd be 50. That'll bring me up to 90. When Rocky Helmet hits me, I'll be at 110. He still has to figure out how to do 20 more damage to me for me to knock myself out when I attack him. So here I have Bolt Strike for knockout. And right now, I believe I'm just kind of calculating out the damage, making sure that with the Rocky Helmet, doing the damage to myself. Oh, no, it isn't. I can't Bolt Strike for knockout because that would knock me out. I'm at 90. I would do 40 to myself, which would knock me out. Outrage, I'm doing 100 and... Yeah, I think this is what I'm calculating out, because Outrage would do 110. He's got 20 on him, so that'd be 130 to knock him out, and then Rocky Helmet would just do 20 to myself. So this is the part in where I'm just repeatedly doing the math in my head just to make sure that I've got it all right. And this is where he knows that I've got it, and he's just wondering what's taking me so long. So now I'm just being a good sport, saying good game, and I'm kind of waiting for him to respond. There's a little, I don't know what kind of face that is, but I Outrage, I take the 20, but that doesn't knock me out, and I take my last prize. So that was an amazing game. MagneEel versus Donphan and Dragons, a great comeback from myself, even though he was topping Junipers after multiple ends. I think it was just a very well-played game by both of us, and I think it's a great game to show. So hope you enjoyed it.